Okay. These little things that I have to hold on a second. We're we're live. Hello, everybody. Wow, Friday. Here we are. It is Casual Convo Friday. My apologies. We had said that this was going on Facebook, but I put the time in wrong for 10 a.m. instead of 10:30. It's all those like little things going through my head of getting off StreamYards. But hey, everybody, happy Friday. My name is Tisha. We are missing Nate today. Nate has decided to take a much needed daycation to spend with his family. And you all know we could definitely use that from time to time. So I sent Nate off to do his daycation, and I am running the show. Hopefully, no tech difficulties, except for the little blip we just had. But all good, all good. So if you are tuning in on LinkedIn or on YouTube, by all means, throw those comments, say hello, say where you're from. Today we have Melahni. She is with Everyday Leader. She's the founder, and she's also the CEO of Make Connections for Life. I can really get behind that, Melahni. And she's a coach and consultant. And today, great topic. We talk about leadership. You can never have enough leadership as far as I'm concerned. And so today we're going to be diving into leadership with Melahni. And just a quick intro. I was just on Melanies Everyday Leaders 50 and 50 podcast, and thanks so much for having me on, Melahni. I'm excited for that episode to drop. And big shout out to David McGlennon and also to Dan Dominguez. We know both of them. I was actually introduced to you through David, and just had a wonderful time with you. So I'm so excited that you have decided to be in our hot seat this morning. So we can ask you all those brilliant questions.
Yeah, isn't it fun? Your inner circle, right? It's the people that kind of bring you together, and it works like magic.
Works like magic. And I think that we are all, we've all done that why assessment, and we've all determined that we are all contributors. So even better, like this is
Shock.
How shocker. Exactly. So excited. Thank you so much, Melahni, for being here. And let's get started with Casual Convo Friday with the first question. But mindset, how is mindset critical to one's success?
Oh, mindset is everything. I think about all the times that we are challenged with things in our life, especially now during COVID. And if we show up with the right mindset, we can actually get through anything that is in front of us. And sometimes we forget that. We think that because we have fear or someone has told us that we can't do it, or that we don't have enough training or knowledge, or we think we're going to make a mistake, that we just kind of discount that. And we decide we don't give ourselves permission to step into what we can really achieve. And it's really important that we just step back and go, okay, if I told myself that I could do this, what would be the possibilities? And I think really, Tisha, I think some people say, yeah, but what if I am successful? Then what happens? Then the consequences of I've got to deal with everything that comes to me if I am successful. And so I think a lot of people are struggling with that, especially now, because they're reinventing themselves. They may have been eliminated. Companies are closing. And so they're trying different things. And so I think, really push yourself to the limit with mindset is what I think, because it's there and it's right in front of you. And so you just have to step into your beliefs.
Step into your beliefs. Yeah. So many of us have that fear of success. We've had other guests on and we've gone around this topic, and I mean, you even shared that, like, okay, but what if I'm successful? What am I going to do? Like, what if this plan of mine actually does work? Because
Yeah.
I don't know why we're self-sabotaging, where we go in and we're like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I'm going to do it. But what if it's what people actually are looking for, and they need you to do that for them, like to do that with them? So interesting that fear of success keeps playing a big part in our mindset of we are limiting ourselves. And like you said, if we just step in and see what happens, there's a lot of big possibilities out there.
I look at people, through the years, and I've worked at a lot of companies, and I think of people that have said, "Oh, I want to get this title." So they work to the point where they go back to school and they get all the degrees, and then they get to that room, that corner office, and then they decide this isn't really what I wanted.
Right.
Because they've talked themselves into doing something because everybody else said that's what you should do. And
Right.
and so it's like we gotta own our mindset because we will set ourselves up for failure. And, our work life and our life that we have to kinda give back and contribute, here's that word, right?
Right. Yeah. Those
But
contributors.
it's a pretty short window when you think about it, and it takes so long to kinda get your message and your theme and your brand, if you will, Tish,
Yeah.
because right? And so you have to really be focused, and if you keep that same strategy of that mindset, it'll get you there a lot faster. So you gotta own it.
Mhm. Own it. I love that. Okay, there's the clip right there, Melanie. Own your mindset. Own your mindset.
Own
And
your
I
mindset.
I know people. I know people like you're talking about where they've set their mind on something. They've gone through all the schooling. They continuously get more and more degrees. They've hit that PhD level, and then they have that burnout of, is this really what I want to do with my life?
Mhm.
Probably not. And they go back through the exploration phase. And yeah, I think that we're listening so much to all of the other people that are talking at us and into us that we're not making that decision for ourselves.
Mhm. It's
Mm,
hard because when you're in the middle of it, you think, "Oh, this is exactly what I should be doing. I'm skilled in this. People see that I can add value." But you really have to have that conversation with yourself in a
right,
quiet space to go, "Yeah, but is this really gonna fill me up so that I can contribute to the world?" Right?
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's that big question is it filling me up? Is it filling me up the work that I'm doing? And that dives into more of what's that purpose for you.
Mhm.
Yes, we have Yehuda Cohen. Hopefully, I'm not butchering that, but hi, guys. Thanks for being on with us live. And if you have any questions, by all means, ask away. Melanie is going through all sorts of leadership questions with me. So if you have something you'd like to add, please do. We're going to dive into the next question. I'm excited about this question. All right, Melanie, you ready? You ready? Okay.
I think
So
so.
what is that one strategy that you've implemented that has created the most momentum for you? And I think everybody would be excited to hear about this because with strategies flying all over the place, what's the one that really has worked for you?
So the one strategy is consistency.
Mm,
Building consistency in my life. I have always been somebody that looks at a situation and tries to put the puzzle together and say, okay, what is the missing piece, right? And so you kind of wear yourself out when you're somebody that likes to create and somebody that likes to show up and add value. What I realized is I needed to be consistent in my strategy. And
hmm
so a couple of things that I've done is I shut off all noise around me. So meaning media, all the politics stuff, all the things that have been happening over the last year, I've pretty much shut down any kind of
Right.
media TV. The second thing is I started because I'm a person of faith. And so
hmm
I love challenges and I am part of the John Maxwell team.
hmm
And so John Maxwell challenged everybody last September that took a Proverbs challenge. So
Oh,
Proverbs in
good.
the Bible has 31 chapters. And he said, if you do this, you will really change your life. You will learn a lot about the things, relationships, community, how you need to show up, your purpose. And so I thought, wow, I was really in a transformation and I needed to build a specific strategy to get me through the next quarter, like the fourth quarter of last year. So
hmm
I started this Bible study and it's 7:30 every morning in October of 2019. We continued, I just invited people and we started studying Proverbs. And what it did is it brought so much clarity to our
Mm,
lives.
good.
So that consistency brought clarity, which created momentum. Because now, from 2019, October 1st, we are now October 16th,
hmm
2020, and we have still every morning met, every
That's
morning.
great.
And so,
Yeah.
but it has brought so much clarity about your life and about your relationships and about how to build your inner circle and how to do all of these things from your core beliefs. And
Hmm.
so that has been the biggest thing, that really has, I think, it didn't change my life. I was always consistent in things, but I picked one thing that I wanted to be consistent in. And
Hmm.
I really understood that that was the thing that was the core that I needed more strength in. And so, whatever that looks like for people, if it's your family, if it's your community, if it's your career, whatever you need to pour yourself into, set up a consistent, accountable measuring system. And then what you find is you get clarity on how you want to build that out and how you want to grow into
Right.
that. And that's what's happened. And it has been amazing because that's now how I start my day. It's not like, oh, I have to do this. It's, wow, look at all the people that they're also having their lives changed through this. So
Hmm.
it's just been amazing.
And you mentioned another word in there that popped up a lot for me, especially today, but accountability. It's accountability. It's holding yourself accountable, which then creates the consistency because then you do it all the time. Like you
Hmm.
show up for that.
Hmm.
And it's you counting on you, it's other people counting on you, and that's huge. That's huge in just following through with the plan that you have.
Hmm. And you think every day, like in April, well, actually in February, we were all like, okay, we're still doing this. And then I had my leadership event that I host every year. And then March hit, we were like, okay, we're going into Psalms. So we started, transferring different chapters in there. And then COVID happened on
Oh,
March
right.
13th. And we were all like, wow, what do we do now? Well,
Mm-hmm.
people were changing and transferring jobs, but what we knew is the people that showed up consistently had significant growth in their life because they
Mm-hmm.
had that foundation. So it's just been really interesting, and we talk about this all the time because of what has filled us up right through
Mm-hmm.
this and given us strength. So yeah, it's been amazing.
How would you measure that, Melanie? So, talking about the growth, how are you measuring that for yourself? I think you've talked about like it's clarity, but how do you feel you've grown? And sometimes it's not this quantifiable or it's a number, but how do you know that you're growing as a result of that consistency and that momentum? Like,
Mhm.
what's happening for you in that?
I think it's your whole mindset. We go back to question one, but it really is, what you believe is true. So take COVID, for example. The things that may have stressed you out before, it's not having a plan on how to handle that. And so when you go and you study something every day with a group of people in kind of a spiritual mastermind, if you will, what
Mm-hmm.
happens is you start to develop a daily accountability. So if there's a daily task that says, like yesterday was Proverbs 15, and we were talking about mastering communication. So when you
Mm-hmm.
master communication, you can master conflict. And so all of these things, it's like when you pick up your favorite book and you reread it and you say,
Right.
"Oh, well, I didn't think of it that way this time." Right? And
Mm-hmm.
so different things pop out at you respective to what you're experiencing in your own life. And that's what I think has been great is this we study the leadership Bible and it gives us like breakout boxes for what are you going to do today to influence the things that you need to make a decision on. And so it may
Mm-hmm.
be a trade-off or accountability or communication, leadership skills, having wisdom about something. And so, take a problem that you are experiencing with maybe a work teammate or a family member. And it really provides that kind of linkage to say, try this, right? Understand
Mm-hmm.
whys. If you're looking for wisdom, if you're studying the Bible, if you're looking for wisdom, in Proverbs, it gives you the strategy that day to say, try this, or have a little bit more patience or grace with yourself. So
Right.
I think through COVID, it has been really exceptionally important because we are really hard on ourselves when we're the only people that we're accountable to, right? When we're home
Right.
stuck with ourselves, and so you can really feel like the stress is gone. It's just a piece of, okay, tomorrow I'm going to get up and I'm going to learn something new to apply this to my daily routine. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what's happened. And so going back and measuring that, looking back at October of 2019, um, the things that I was dealing with, I was nervous, I was anxious, I was like, how am I ever going to make the right decision? But what I learned is, you know, finding wisdom and finding that inner circle that really can walk this path with you. It gives you that confidence to make those decisions and know that, my goodness, if you let go of what you thought was, in your comfort zone or what you thought you were the expert in, there
Right.
is so much more waiting for you, that we just need to step forward and not be fearful of making those really critical decisions, right? That we're fearing, because the world can open up to us in
Mm-hmm.
just amazing ways. I mean, I am now more of a coach, coaching clients, consulting clients, instead of depending upon, one source of income, right? And so that's what I was doing before COVID and
Mm-hmm.
before, in 2019, expecting to show up and add value to a company instead of saying, I have all these gifts. And the wisdom from what we've learned is, you have all of this. And if you show up as you are and meet people where they are and not expect people to change, but if you can really
Mm-hmm.
understand the wisdom of meeting people where they are, my goodness, you get so much more accomplished, and you give yourself grace, and you also have better relationships because you're going into those authentically. And so
Right.
it's a whole new, like, I don't know, it's a whole new outlook, but it is a whole new mindset because you realize the power in that. And and so many of us are just going through the motions right now. And so I just think, having that consistency, really keeping yourself accountable to what you're learning through that, it absolutely can change your mindset and your outcomes and your whole life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I could not agree more with everything you just said. All right,
It's
let's dive into this next question, Melanie, about your inner circle and how do
oh,
you choose the people in your inner circle?
oh my goodness. So this has been taught, right? Wisdom, it's really interesting because who we think are our inner circle sometimes, our family or coworkers or just social friends. And really, for the inner circle for me, it means people that are going to help me with my growth mindset, because
Sure.
that's really important to me. And so you have to identify those people that are like-minded, that again keep you accountable, that help you stretch. So your inner circle doesn't have to be, people, at your same level. You want to put people in your inner circle, mentors that can challenge you, that can
Mm-hmm.
really help stretch you and keep you to that growth, opportunity. That you really decide, here's my goal plan, here's my vision board, and that they're going to help push you and pull you into the places, give you the connections that you need in your life, and also just keep you consistent in showing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that may be, for me, the John Maxwell team really helped change, the access to the numbers of people that were also growth minded. So there may
Mm-hmm.
be groups, Tony Robbins or, Mel Robbins or Zig Ziglar, all of these people, they develop a platform for mindset. And so I encourage people that they haven't experienced that or given themselves permission to do something kind of outside of what the norm is, right? Your company is not going to teach you everything that you need to know to grow.
Right.
And
Right.
that was a mindset that I had for a long time. Like, well, they're gonna put me in the right classes. They're gonna recognize that I have this skill set. And then I decided, like, that's my responsibility, right? It was an awakening, seriously. And then I found, it opened my eyes that I had, 100,000 people that I thought, wow, this is a whole new life-changing experience, to know that I can just show up as I am, and I will
Mm-hmm.
be accepted instead of, chasing that right job with that right career with that right paycheck because I have the right skills. I'm like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
need to be judged like that anymore. It doesn't matter.
So true though about finding your inner circle, and it's okay. Like I've had to distance myself from people that I feel like they're not inspiring me. Like I want to be in a circle of people that are constantly pushing me to do better, to get better. and sometimes it's not the people that you think. It's not just your closest friends and family. And I know we've heard this before of even sometimes our closest friends and family are the ones that are pulling us down. They're keeping us stuck.
Mhm.
So very good advice on, finding your inner circle, trying to find people that I always say if they are, a good 10 steps ahead of you or even a couple steps ahead of you, you can always be learning from those individuals.
Mhm.
Always. There's always growth in that.
And I think one of the biggest things, Tisha, is you have to remove the people that aren't adding value to you. And
Mm,
that's a really tough decision. It's a tough process. It's painful. It's grief, sometimes because you may have coffee with people and think, oh, those are the ones that I can confide in. But those aren't the ones that you should really consider as your growth inner circle. And so it's
hmm
different, right? And you really have to decide who's your like board of directors, right? If you were your own CEO of your life, who are your personal board of directors that are going to make sure that you are successful in reaching your potential?
hmm That's a great point too. Who is the board of directors for your life? I think that's a great way to put it into context too of who are those advisors that you go to when you're struggling with something or you're having a challenge that they're going to say, okay, this is what you need to do. Here's that next step. Here's how you push through the limits. And here's how you keep moving forward.
Mhm.
So absolutely, absolutely. And they don't have to be in your backyard. They can be all over the world.
All over the world, especially now, right? With technology.
Right.
If you
I know.
aren't meeting other people, there's something wrong.
How about you, Melanie? Like, I mean, I met you throughout COVID as well, but like, have you been having a lot of those like Zoom coffee dates with people from all over the world and just building your network? I mean, this is the time to be able to do that.
This is the time. And I ran into somebody this week that is hosting a summit, and he was like, here's how I did it. And I'm like, come on and do a live with me. And, we just connected like you and I did, like soulmates, where have you been all my life? And how did I not know you?
Right.
And that's what's so fun because you go, how can we collaborate together? And
Yes.
that's how dreams begin to happen because you meet someone that says, I think that way too. And this is what I believe. And then you start to create things together that had never been possible. So
hmm
that's what I love about technology. And I know you and I have so much media connection through our veins that we have experienced and that we believe in. And it's just so much fun for us because we know all you have to do is reach out and ask, and people do want to help. Don't That's what I want to tell people. Don't be afraid if something's
mm
on your mind to ask somebody for help. Reach out
hmm
and do it because this is the time. People are willing to help you.
hmm I've always said that if you're not willing to ask, then the answer is no.
That's right. Always.
And that's you thinking it's a no, but I've had plenty of opportunities to ask for help, and people are always like, of course, what do you need help with? How can I point you in the direction, or can I teach you something that I'm doing that's helping me?
Mhm.
So yeah, we've even got Atomy, like I can't say these names, but giving us a clap. Thank you so much for being here. But yeah, I mean, that's what we talk about. It's if you're not willing to ask, then it's almost, you've already shot yourself in the
Mhm.
foot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's people, so this kind of reminds me of a story, Melanie, where I was business mentoring with the Phoenix Business Journal, and a woman came up to me and she's like, I am like your biggest fan. And I said, oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Like, she said she's been following my content for a good year and saw me speak a year prior, but never came up to me. Never had the courage to come up to me. And it just made me realize, like, had you come up to me a year ago, imagine how much further you would
Oh
be
my
because
gosh.
I would have helped you, because
Mhm.
I love that, because I'm a contributor, how much I would have done more for you, with you, or collaborated or done something. So it's like you were saying earlier, it's fear that keeps us stuck. And so
Mhm.
I kind of shared this one time, and I'll most likely write a post about it. But I'm like, would you rather be a fan or would you rather be a friend? Would you rather be off in the distance looking at what I'm doing and just waiting in the sidelines? Or would you rather start the process now?
Mhm.
And I go into it with that mentality of, if I want to get to know you, I'm going to get to know you.
Right.
I'm going to reach out to you. I'm not going to just hide and wait. Like, I want to get to know you.
Right.
So,
It's
yeah.
important because there may be that one thing that you have in common. What I've learned about leadership is just you have to find that common ground. And so, like I said earlier, meeting people where they are, that is so important. Like you come to the table to a new relationship and you think, oh, well, we have these expectations, right? If you can meet my expectations, then you can be in my tribe. Or my friend, or I'll have coffee with
Right.
you, or I'll tolerate you, right? And so, but what you have to learn is everybody has gifts, right? And so when we
Uh-huh.
look on the outside and we see, well, they have gifts in a different way in different relationships. And sometimes that creates jealousy, right? That's when you see a lot of
Mm,
people go, well, if I could do that, or if they could be in my circle, or if they did that with me, it would be different. And so that's where we get into comparison and and that brings on a lot of anxiety, right? And
right.
so it's that core of meeting people where they are so that you just kind of give up the rest of it. Like just let it go
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
do what you do best and show up for people. And so
Hmm.
but we're contributors.
Hey, there's that word again. There's that contribute
That's
word.
how we think.
All right. So as we're wrapping up, I know you have a quote that you live by every day. What is that quote that you'd like to share with everyone tuning in on the live and on the replay?
So my quote is by Melanie, that it's right in front of you. It's right in
Yes.
front of you. You have to step into what is already in your heart and already in your soul, and you just have to step into it. You have to figure out a way to do that one thing that your soul is crying out for you to do. You have to figure it out, whether it's getting involved with somebody else, whether it's writing a book, whether it's learning a new skill, whatever that looks like for you. It is your story. It is right inside of your soul. And so many times we talk about it in groups with friends and we just kind of discount it. We put it in the back of our mind. But if we really start journaling and we think about all the things that we've told people that we'd like to do, or that if I had $1 million, I would do this, and we dream about it. But those strategies, being consistent and going to the next level and taking that one opportunity to learn more about it, taking that one opportunity to gain a connection to learn more about
Hmm.
it, gets you closer. And then your heart becomes so full, and you say, it's always been right there. It's always been right there with me.
Right.
And so once you decide that you are worth it, right? Once you decide that you are worth it and you give yourself the freedom to experience and explore that, amazing things happen. And all that kind of like fear and anxiety and like regret and, oh, comparing myself to the Joneses, that goes away. You start getting laser focused and you start getting very productive with your life. So
Hmm. Oh, good stuff. That's a long quote. I don't think it will just make it on a coffee mug.
it's right in front of
But
you. It's right in
here it
front of
is.
you.
It's right in front of you. It's right in front of you for the taking. Just take it. Like, so close, so close. So it looks like I've been asked out for a lunch date. Thank you, Dwight Lamb.
How nice.
Michelle also saying, great comment about staying on the sideline, reach out and make the contact. Oh, yes, Michelle. I mean, she and I go way back. You know, I love the connections that I make, but somebody had to make a move. Think about that.
That's right.
Somebody had to make a move for that connection to get started, and it's either you or it's me. So if you're waiting for the next person to make the move, you may be waiting a long, long, long time. So if we're talking about relationships and connections, you know you have it in you. Melanie has said this in her quote, it's right in front of you. So take the step. Take the step. Move into it. So I know Melanie said the other thing here, or Michelle said, Melanie, thank you for the challenge to go after what we want to do, taking the first step. Yes, of course. That's really all it is. Today, we are really pushing you out of your comfort. We're telling you to own your mindset And we are telling you it's in front of you.
It is
So
in front of you.
stop letting all that fear talk get in your way and get in your head, and do it. I'm going to share today, Melanie. This is just kind of a fun story. So, you know that I've been running this personal brand builder challenge. This was my very first one. I launched it October 1st. I kicked it off October 12th. Like, not a lot of prep time, but it was like, hey, I already put this date in the calendar. I have to move. I've got to do this.
That's
And
right.
I was so excited when 56 people from all around the world showed up for a challenge, and they knew nothing about me. They didn't know who I was. They just knew I was this girl holding a personal brand builder challenge, because I love it, because I love helping people with that.
Mm-hmm.
And one woman that just signed up for my program today, she's like, I know you said this was your first one, but it's like you've been doing this for a long time. She's like, you already knew what you were doing and you just did it. And that's the thing. I could have let fear hold me back, and I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm going to push it off another year. Or I could have just jumped in and know that I'm learning in the process. I'm teaching and I'm learning in the process.
But see, what
So,
you knew is the value that you could bring to people was right in
value.
front of you, right? It was
Yeah.
right there. And so by challenging yourself, it just made everything else come together. And so when it's supposed to be that way, it makes it really easy and people respond because you're showing
Mm-hmm.
up as what your soul is telling you, like this is going to complete you.
Yeah. So, a couple of big nuggets that we've shared just part of this live stream is challenge yourself. It's right in front of you. Own your mindset and just step into it. I love that. There you go, Melanie. Thank you
There you
for that. All right. So I know we're running a little on time, but I would love to give you the opportunity for a little shameless plugging, Melanie. What's on the horizon? How do people connect with you? And also just touch base. How do they reach out?
Yep. So go to my website, everydayleaders.com, where I believe everyone can become a leader in your life that can change the world. My podcast is Everyday Leaders 50 and 50. I am going to be in a summit here coming up, starting on Monday for 14 days. It's Mastering Your Mindset for Joy. And mine is the midlife mindset, eliminating your limiting beliefs, right? So,
Oh,
what
that's
perfect
good.
timing for all of this. But you can go to
Perfect.
everydayleaders.com and find out all about me and the classes and the strategy sessions. So, thank you so much, Tisha. This has been awesome.
Thank you, Melanie. And I know Nate's missing this, but he'll have to catch the replay since he's on his vacation. But thank you so much, everybody that tuned in live on LinkedIn or who is catching the replay. Dwight ends us with this: doubt and fear still more dreams than failure does. Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, I am that type that I'm okay to fail. I think all of us should be at that point where we've all failed at something. I mean, we failed at walking.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
always say that. I'm pretty sure you didn't just get up on both feet and start walking out the door. So remember that yeah, if you're going to let doubt and fear play a big part of that, then you will stay stuck. And stuck is never, never, ever, ever a good place to be. Ever.
Nope.
So take that first step. Own your mindset. It's right in front of you. And on that note, we're going to end this live stream. Thank you so much, Melanie, for being here on Casual Convo Friday. We will be back next Friday. And of course, you can connect with Melanie at everydayleaders.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much.